this was a build around submission. As you may or may not be aware, a lot of the decks we play on this channel are viewer submissions. In addition to taking specific viewer deck lists, I also accept, hey Jeff, can you build around these champions or these cards or this idea? And this deck specifically was a request to build around Nocturne in a non-Targon shell. He's a little bit difficult to level up in a non-Targon shell, and as this deck will show, we're basically just playing this as a good aggressive top-end threat that could also help us control the board a little bit. He could technically level himself, especially with Doom Beast and the things Unspeakable Horrors makes, additional Lightfall things in our deck, but for the most part, we're playing Nocturne as just a 5/3 fearsome that also helps us control the opponent's board a little bit by making things vulnerable. We are pairing Nocturne here today with a Bilgewater aggressive core. So we've got things like Crackshot Corsair, Jagged Butcher, Croaker, Hired Gun, and then Misfortune as our second champion. And then one thing we've tried a bit of in the past that I've enjoyed is with Bilgewater, we get to play Zap Sprayfin, and Zap's really sweet at drawing Stalking Shadows out of your deck to generate some sweet card advantage in our otherwise very aggressive shell. At the tippy top end of our curve, we've got some Jack the Winners to have a little bit of reach and a large body, so let's go ahead and dive on into some games here with this and see how it goes. Big Z Wine, thanks for checking in for the 38th month. That's a long time. Welcome back. Weasel, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Hoaglandia. If you're new to the channel, like Weasel, I stream full-time here on Twitch. I do Runeterra for about half my content. I'm here Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekend as well, for about 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Cornfield time. Also have a website and a YouTube channel that has a ton of great content up there. My YouTube channel posts a different deck highlight every single day of the week. I usually play 2 to 3 different decks per day, so the best of those decks get a short highlight video there, so you can catch all of it very quickly. Discard aggro here. Jinx, Draven, Teemo. Unspeakable Horrors sounds great. Zap and Stalking Shadows sound a little bit slow to keep to start. I'm going to keep Crackshot Corsair because it's just a cheap play. Let's get him, crew. The attack with both, I'll eat here. I think I'm just blocking. Am I blocking? No, I'm going to take the 2. And then next turn we'll start by attacking, so that way we can play Jagged Butcher as a 3/3. I think is the plan here.
Finger on the tree.
Basically, we took 2 points of damage to give this +1/+1 is effectively the exchange we've made here. And I think I'm pretty okay with that.
He started without me.
If you didn't catch our spoiler review today, there was actually a really sweet Nightfall spoiler card that lets you keep making copies of a thing with Nightfall that could potentially be very, very sweet alongside, Nocturne in a non-Targon deck like this.
Let's boogie.
Did I have COVID? I did not. It's always strange. One of the things I don't think I'll ever get used to as a content creator is the way other people who I've never met and probably will never meet will go online and post bold-faced lies about me as a person. Saying I had COVID and recovered from it is a pretty harmless one, all things considered, but it's still just so strange to me. That's just something I would never comprehend doing as a person.
Keep up, keep up.
Like, it's one thing to be like, I don't like how Jeff manages his chat, or I don't like that he talks about politics on his stream, or like all those other things that are just like, they're true things, but they're subjective, so you dislike them. But to like, just make up bold-faced lies that have no basis in reality is just wild.
Work with this joker.
That's really not true, Evan Magic Player. If you think, as someone who read the comments on the Runeterra subreddit, if you think the Runeterra subreddit was rude, you have no idea the types of craps that people on the Magic subreddit said. I was very pleased reading through the feedback on the Runeterra subreddit. I thought they were more than reasonable. What are we playing here as a blocker? I think we're playing out a blocker, and then we'll block into here, and then we'll Unspeakable Horror to finish it. Probably just Misfortune here.
No prey, no pay.
Watch and learn. What's that you got there?
Correct. Yeah, there are. It's always funny to me how like the idea. The other one of those things that's like kind of funny is like the idea that like because I don't let people say whatever I want, that's toxic. Like the number of people who feel entitled to like be able to spam their opinion anywhere on the internet that lets you type on your keyboard is so crazy. Like the idea that certain spaces shouldn't have certain standards.
Hell of a day.
Okay, all things considered, I feel like we're in a pretty decent spot here, right? We just need to like fade Jinx basically. And even if they have Jinx at this point, honestly, what's the word? We've got Nocturne to kill her. So I think I'm gonna Fortune Croaker here on the off chance they have Jinx and we want to Nocturne her.
Now we're cooking. The answer is here somewhere.
The other one is people who think that I shouldn't be allowed to block people on Twitter. I often wonder how those people would feel if they had 16,000 people that wanted to scream at them on occasion on Twitter, if they would feel differently about how social media gets managed. Like no one of and honestly, I've talked about this before too. Something that I do that's a little bit different that I think that a lot of people that like hit my amount of following is I try to read every comment that people tag me in on Twitter, and I try to read every comment that people leave on my YouTube channel. And the only way I'm able to do that reasonably is by blocking and muting and getting rid of people that are gonna waste my time.
Who's angry for action, eh?
It's like there's so many different people in the world, right? And like many of them are great, and there's some that are, and I'm sure my liberal blocking like ends up blocking some people that are like reasonable people, but I have to like prioritize and filter my time in a way that I can manage.
I never miss.
No plays there is interesting. I wonder if they're worried about a sweeper out of us. Banana Day, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. So I think we're gonna run Jack into. We're gonna run Jack into Draven here, and this is fearsome.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the.
If they want to axe this to trade with Nocturne, I think I'm okay with that. Our hand's pretty clunky at this point, unfortunately. Lot of 5s and 6s. To be fair, these are all generated, I suppose, though. Our actual deck curve's pretty low.
Time for the money makers. How easy are the hands? They're new. Raven down.
Reporting in.
I think I'm just passing here.
Lock the doors.
Lock the doors.
Never know what hit 'em. Came a long way for a bullet.
5. Good chance we get burned out here.
Like a fish in water.
Whale poop.
You wanted rough.
No! Tebow! Tebow! Come on! Come on! Man! I feel cheated, chat. I feel cheated. What a tilter. What a tilter. Anti-evil, thanks for the 25 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That little mushroom planting devil, chat. He got us. Hey, thanks, AK. Have a good one. Good to know Tebow tilts in all of Riot's franchises. Shark Gooey, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Hoaglandia. It's fine. In the words of the greatest poet of my generation, you just gotta shake, shake, shake it off and move along to the next one, chat. Uh-oh. Do we get stuck in queuing purgatory? Oh, I'm so excited, chat. I got a brand new capture card in the mail. So I won't have to... It's super fancy and has 4 HDMI ports on the back of it. So I won't have to keep manually plugging and unplugging my Switch and my PlayStation when I switch between them in the evenings. It's the little things that make life more convenient that are great. Kalista Elise. Well, look at Nocturne. He's a little bit on the expensive side. I think Doombeast and Misfortune are both important to keep here because they notably block things that are fearsome. Crackshot Corsair is excellent. Means we'll get to trigger Plunder for this down the line.
Ready, aim.
I pull the strings. Skitter out from the darkness.
From the darkness.
Came a long way for a bullet.
I'm one of the good guys, but not that good.
We shall not rest until all betrayed.
So I think I'm okay trading for Kalista here plus 2 points of damage.
Never find peace.
Hello, day.
I've got 2 Ravenous Butchered in this deck. I'm not sure if this is a good inclusion or not. I've got a couple of the, gosh, I'm blanking on his name. The one that makes it thing when he dies. Cursed Keepers that he pairs well with.
We shall pierce their treasonous hearts.
Pierce their treasonous hearts. Honestly, I might just play this out here and then also Doombeast this turn. Because if I do this, I get to do this into Doombeast into Plunder Jagged Butcher. And then I think we end up in a pretty okay spot. We're hoping to fade Pale Cascade here, so if they have Pale Cascade, they can attack in and beat my block. But I suppose Pale Cascade's not even that bad for us, because we have Unspeakable Horror to finish it off after, right? IDE versus non-IDE. I think you should use whatever you work best with, Admiral. I personally just prefer using a text editor that does syntax highlighting. On Linux, my preferred text editor is an application called Genie, and on Windows, I prefer using Notepad++. I think the idea that like an IDE versus not is strictly better or strictly worse is some pretty hot nonsense. One of the things you learn as a teacher is that different people learn in very different ways. And like the best way for one person to learn and work is not going to translate to another person directly. And you shouldn't like punish people or make them feel less than because they learn in a way that's different than the way you learn best. For people that are new to the channel, I have both a graduate degree and an undergraduate degree in mathematics. I spent some time teaching at a community college and a couple of different universities in the area where I live. Also spent some time working as a systems analyst doing process automation for a Fortune 50 company. Contributed to a number of open source projects over the years.
Come, stay a while.
Mark of the Isles. It's pretty good, so I get to trade these here. I think I'm gonna pop off an Unspeakable Horrors here just for the sake of using a little bit of mana. It seems silly to learn in an optimal way because Purist told you to. Big agree. It's a good way to put it. Use what works best for you. Yeah, mathematics. My graduate and undergrad degree are both in mathematics. That's a good draw. Well, let us well, that's terrifying. Are we dead? I think we're probably dead to that, right? That could have gone worse.
For silver I thought, for gold I listen.
For gold I listen.
Is
Okay, so Pale Cascade here to trade with this, and then I go to 4. You know, I'm actually gonna block the spider and go to 5, so that way I'm not dead to double Doom Beast. Do we want to double her? Yeah, maybe. I don't know, I kind of want to get Misfortune down this turn so I can start killing them on the backswing. So like, for example,
No prey, no pay.
this opens on 6 attack. I could play this into Nocturne next turn potentially and get a pretty decent attack in. Yeah, like I like developing my board more here. Yeah, like these are all points of reach here as well, right? Which is great. This is very scary. Hoping to fade Doom Beast. If they get double Doom Beast off of that, we're gonna be in some trouble. think I give this up to get in for damage on the rest of these. That could be wrong, though. Might be right to just do this.
The fear grows.
If I... Oh, horror plus MF damage kills it. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. Good catch. Need to fade Mark here. Hank Utah, thanks for the 2/3 VR of wonderful content. Happy to find out you're cashed to the tournament this weekend. Thanks for keeping me around, Hank. It's good to have you back. I forgot about the misfortune damage there. They have harrowing mana here, which is scary. We're dead, right? The casual 5 Kali's to harrowing. So I can play this. I can play out a blocker, and then I can gain 1, but we're taking 13 over here still.
Now we plan our revenge.
Noxious Shadow Isle Mono Swain. Huh. Sure doesn't seem very good. So this seems fine. We're attacking on odds so we can play this on 1 and get in there. It's a bank spell mana on 2 to maybe enable Nocturne's Nightfall on 3. Mono Swain. Is there? What's the upside to playing Swain as your only champion in those regions? I'm like trying to think what it could be, and I'm not coming to any. Hey, thanks for the 12 months, Boot. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure if you're not able to catch the tournament broadcast live this weekend, there will definitely be, you'll be able to watch it on the Twitch pod, and I'm sure they'll put some of it up on their YouTube channel as well.
I'm one of the good guys, but not that good. Then.
So, they have a free block, or are they going to kill Misfortune? That's cute. It's fine, we got plenty more of those. Oh, they're an Undying variation. Okay. Neat.
Fortune favors the bold.
Yeah, the casting lineup for the tournament is absolutely stacked. I'm arguably the smallest creator on it.
Love ya.
Elsewhere will soon fly the Nocturne.
Not while I've got bullets left.
Drain 4 from an ally. There's a piece of technology. Maybe I should have gone Cursed Keeper into Ravenous Butcher this turn to have more fierce blockers out. Hello, lovely wife. How are the monsters this morning? Haley napping.
The doors.
The boys want cheese pizza. Should I make a bowl? Because you'll have
No, I'll eat you. I could Stalking Shadows into Nocturne this turn. That doesn't seem very good. I think we're just setting up the Cursed Keeper here.
So many years, so much misery.
Okay. They prioritize getting a 4-3 here as opposed to getting more of these in the long term. Block this here. Put this here. Put this here. Take 4. And then next turn, the tournament will be shown on the main Riot Games channel. Claire, twitch.tv/Riot Games. Next turn, I can Nocturne to make this vulnerable and then run my 2 power thing into here. Probably just Doom Beast, huh? Let's get some life back here. So far, Jack's been kind of medium. We don't have a ton of things we want to take damage necessarily. Emerald Cursed Keeper seems sweet. Get to pop it for a 4-3 here, which will be great. Another Swain blocker.
Then kindle anew.
They just play a naked Rekindler? Sure. So this means we know they have another one in their hand, right? Is what that equates to.
Let's get to it.
Just playing that out as a blocker. I guess I could attack with everything here, right? Is that lethal? They block here, because these can't block, right? If I put this here, actually. They should be dead, right? I have a sleep with the fishes here, too. Oh, I could have slept pre-combat to make a 4-3. Yeah. I would be happy to build around for Swain plus Rekindler Fox if you wanted. I think that's something I could potentially make work. Or at least would be willing to take a crack at making work. Alright, Fearsome's rematch. Let's see if we can, Hey, thanks for the bits, Fox. I appreciate it. Let's see if we can beat them if they don't have double harrowing. Dear opponent, please don't have double harrowing again. I'm actually mulliganing Crackshot here. She, their deck has a lot of things that Crackshot just can't attack into.
Let's get him, crew. Finger on the trigger.
So, Coburn, I'm not currently entertaining new variety submissions because with the amount of stuff I have in the queue, I'm probably like through the middle to end of January at this point. And I don't really want to take things that people have to wait that far out for.
Success gets noticed around here. You won't suffer long.
Variety games when they're good take a while.
Long wait for the bullet.
So young.
If the stories are gonna like to play them all the way through. And like even shorter variety stuff is like 10 hours or so. I think I want to, so this keeps vulnerable permanently. I think I want to Butcher off of this and then Doom Beast here. Yeah, Witcher 3 is a game I'm not playing straight through. So Witcher 3 is a game we're gonna be playing 2 nights a week until I'm done with it. I'm aware of how long the Witcher series is.
I'll shoot the wings off a bilge wasp.
If I kill you, I don't fortune, stupid.
So we can Butcher into Nocturne next turn. And that'll let Doom Beast trade into Kalista. Which I think is a play I'm willing to make. Just gonna take this hit for 5 here.
I'll burn for what I've done.
It is notable that opponent will not have Harrowing Mana next turn because they're down to 2 this turn. Their board's also a little bit full, so even if they did, it's not that good of a play. I'm going to attack with my 1/1 here as well, because if they want to block this with any of their 2 toughness things, Unspeakable Horror can kill it next turn.
Got us covered.
Yeah, I have a copy of Cyberpunk on the PS5, but waiting for bug patches and waiting for some of the other bigger streamers to move out of the space is something I'm going to do for that. Oh, my ordering is wrong. That's why the emoted. I needed to put, normally I default to just putting challengers last, but Kalista seeing other things die is relevant here. So this 100% should be up here first, because these are gonna die and then Kalista's gonna live. Yeah, it's a big mistake. Zapruta, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. No, that wasn't Misfortune, that was Crackshot Corsair. Hey, Grizzlefather, thanks for the prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Alright, so we're hoping this draws Unspeakable Horror.
Go with the flow.
Because that was a Nocturne. Shadows, yikes.
Got some fighting, yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake. Ordering on combat mattering in this game is big. It's one of the things that really pulls me into Runeterra and that I enjoy about it. At a glance, games like Hearthstone and Eternal and other games that like limit your board space and how many units you can have, they tend to have combat that has less depth than something like Magic that has a big board state. But the way in which Runeterra has designed their game, where the ordering of your attackers matters, Runeterra, I think, actually has more depth and permutations in its average combat step than games like Magic do, even with much larger boards. In Magic, complex decisions often come down to attack with everything or attack with nothing, whereas in Runeterra, the permutations of your order mattering, there's a lot to think through. Hey, nice Paracel. Yeah, the Darius Draven Overwhelm deck is very good, both the Freljord and Target one. Yeah, damage remaining on units also adds a layer to the onion. Hakarim Zed. Alright, you have my attention. So they're probably Deathmark ephemerals, I have to imagine. Did you hear they're limiting the board size to 250 tokens in Arena? Yep, I did. What a quality piece of software. Yes, the limited board state leads to less board states where no one wants to blink to is good. Our start's very good here. We get to go Crack Shot, attack Yarn Open into Jagged Butcher Crack Shot, and then we'll get to Misfortune on their turn.
Hey, Krabby.
That's my You started without me.
I never miss.
Ain't no sport in powder. Without a sound.
Looking for trouble.
So now the question becomes, do we chump block with this to deny the Z level? Probably. There's a second spoiler drop.
I have many faces.
Those are the spoilers from an hour and a half ago, Hexa.
Gotcha in my sights.
I mean, the actual answer is that to rag on Magic and the stuff that they do poorly for just half a second, the actual answer is that a card like Scut Swarm shouldn't have been printed. The paper team designing cards should be working hand in hand with the digital team to ensure that designs that are being created actually work on all of their products. It is one of the big issues Wizards of the Coast has as a company is that their communication between departments is consistently god-awful, and their products feel very disjointed and don't work together well. Alright, back to focusing on fun games made by companies that do their job well.
My life for the order.
I think I'm okay trading Misfortune for Zed here, so I'm gonna go ahead and attack.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the face.
Where are you going? You cannot escape.
If you don't think it's a communication issue, I'd encourage you to look up Glassdoor reviews for Wizards of the Coast. They might have a pump spell here, right? They could have like a retreat. Nope, just jumping.
Hang on, Zern.
Taking a game similar to Counter-Strike for Variety segment. No. I'm going to primarily focus on single-player story-driven stuff for Variety segments moving forward. Occasionally other turn-based strategy games, but no, I'm not really interested in playing Twitch shooters on stream. Well, that's terrifying if they have a death mark. Death Mark, for reference, is a 3-mana spell that moves ephemeral from one unit to another. Sure.
On my mark.
Shuppa time. Pretty sure we're just trading these here. Not super excited about it, but it's the play. And then this gives us a pretty decent open attacks next turn, so they want to block Crackshot Corsair with Zed. We get to finish him with Unspeakable Horror.
Time to get rich. restraint.
Our opponent is very attached to their Zed. Grim's only at 1 out of 7 so far.
For the show.
Good for us. Get a nice fat bottom down here again that can threaten to block the Zed, which is nice.
You want it rough.
You want it rough. Curse Keeper plus Sleep with the Fishes to make a 4-3.
You and me. Let's go.
Spirit Refuge, sure.
I am claim what is ours.
We have gas. Should we have Unspeakable to kill Zed? Yeah, that's a thought, maybe. I was kind of wanted to be greedy and get Nightfall value out of it, but... Opponent's deck is very controlling. I think I'm gonna save this for the possibility to pop a... The possibility to pop a barrier inside of combat here, in case they have another one. And actually, I'm going to order my biggest attackers last here, in case they have another lifesteal barrier like that.
I am a true master.
Alright, I says they're dying. Click OK. The eye is one of the single best technological things about this game. And it's not particularly close. It's really, really well done. Swain Ezreal. Cursed Keeper and Glimpse both sound good here. I'm gonna mulligan these other two. Actually, Cursed Keeper with Fortune Cooker is good, right? And Glimpse is just good in general into their deck full of removal. I think I want this to be a 3-3. Their deck probably plays Mystic Shot and or Death Sand. So I think waiting a turn to make this bigger is potentially very good.
We weren't expecting callers.
I feel like the Ravenous Butchers have been pretty underwhelming so far in this set. Feel like I wouldn't mind them being something else. They have been Carafe, but it also doesn't really make sense for them to. You don't really talk to people about hiring them for future jobs until you've seen how they've done with the first one you give them.
It's not bragging if you can back it up. Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
How is Runeterra? Runeterra has the best core rules engine of any card game I have ever played. And from a quality of software perspective digitally, it is better than any other client I've ever played on. I think Runeterra nails literally every part of design that I want a game to nail. I think it looks better than a lot of the competitors' products. I think the gameplay is better. It does a lot, right? You know, maybe I'm supposed to Ravenous Butcher this. Misfortune's a good draw.
Pray, no pay.
I'm planning to do Cyberpunk sometime early next year, GMP. I'm gonna wait till some of the top things flooded fall off a little bit. Even better than Hearthstone. Yeah, to set a low... Hearthstone's pretty low on my bar of things that I like. So, in my personal subjective taste, yes, it's much better than Hearthstone.
I shoot.
And all of those other things are even before you get into the fact that Runeterra has objectively the fairest monetization of any card game that's ever been made digitally. Honestly, probably in paper too. This turn worked out well for us here. Runeterra is a product that has very clearly taken the lessons learned from other products in this industry over the last 25 years and looked at those products' failures and corrected the failures that they've made in different areas. Instead of running headlong in and making the same mistakes that others have made in the past, they've looked at the mistakes that they've made and they've worked to correct them.
I'll be damned.
What does Gwent do? I was under the impression that Gwent involves random card packs. Does Gwent not have random card packs in it?
We are at war. You pay first.
I've never played Gwent personally, so I could be wrong there. But I was under the impression that it involved random card packs. Generosity doesn't matter. I don't care of the actual price point. Random card packs are predatory bullshit. It doesn't matter if they cost $2 a pack or 25 cents per pack. Refusing to give people exactly what they want for their money is predatory.
Like a fish in water.
You pick the rare, so only the commons and uncommons are random? Is that an accurate statement? Try and kill this in response.
Son of a...
Then we get to play this out. We get a decent hit in here. Well, that's just rude. These Ravenous Butchers and Sleep with the Bitches have both been real bad. It shows you 3 rares and you pick one. Okay, so still predatory bullshit. Got it. It really speaks to how hurt players have been by all these other companies that something like that's just a little bit less predatory is praised as good. It's like, no, that's still not good. I'll give you it's less bad, but less bad and actively good are 2 different things.
Keep up, keep up.
think I'm just taking a hit here.
You paid. I got the spirits. These are my rules.
These are my rolls.
Put on me mask, secure me tail, start the day.
How do we feel about... I think I'm going to Unspeakable Horror their base here and then play Jagged Butcher. Thanks, Jinrico.
There's plenty of killing left.
Oh, I should have slept with the fishes on this.
Lock the doors.
Mistake. That's a pretty good draw. I don't have to worry about sweepers out of them, right? So we're just going to, like, drop this zap and get in there.
I got ways to find me mushrooms.
Let's do this.
Why is the only thing companies took for Magic is random card packs? Because when you're the casino, gambling is always profitable for you.
Business.
The house always wins, chat. And we're at a high enough life total here that we even realistically beat Captain Baron, which is sweet. It's one of their pieces of top end we're worried about at the moment. Unless you're Trump's casinos. That's true. Trump is the very best. Nothing but the best casinos from Glorious Leader. Yeah, I mean, like, as someone who's spent 4 figures worth of money on both Hearthstone and Magic Arena, Hearthstone's monetization is even worse than Magic Arena's monetization. Oh yeah, put some mushrooms in my deck, Poppy. You know, just what I like. More Doom Beasts, please. Rats, never lucky. I guess we just do this now. Hey, Bib, thank you for the very generous tier 3 sub. I appreciate the 16 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Lock the doors.
Yeah, I actually really liked, I think Hearthstone's core gameplay loop is fine. It's like even borderline good. The thing that really pushed me out of Hearthstone, because I have money that I would spend on games, like I put plenty of money into Arena. The deck building depth in Hearthstone is super shallow because cards are restricted to specific regions, and there's the core set of neutral cards that go between every deck. It made a lot of things feel pretty samey, and the depth of what you could do and combine just wasn't enough for me. I do not. I've been using a Windows system since about mid-year. I mean, I think saying nothing is creative is a little bit reductionist and overstating, but I think to say it's less depth than something like Magic or Runeterra is definitely true. Hey, Jacob. What's up? Okay. You're cute, but you shouldn't be bouncing in my office. Take your bouncing out donation. Yeah, and like another thing too is like thinking about the depth that Runeterra's current deck building has. Like we're nowhere near done fleshing out. We're nowhere near done fleshing out the actual card pool, right? Like we're gonna have 2 more regions and just more cards in the existing regions by the end of next year. What's the thing in Runeterra that I hate the most? The deck editor needs work. The fact that the deck editor is missing a craft all function is a big oversight. Yeah, the economies in games like Hearthstone and Arena discourage people from innovating because you get punished for innovating if you fail. And like, failing is part of innovating. Everybody who builds a brew that's successful, they had lots of other brews that weren't successful beforehand. So like, when you get punished economically for your brew being unsuccessful, you're less inclined to brew. Nah, my being done with Magic was a sum of a lot of things. Some of which was their issues with format balance. Some of which was how Arena is managed as a product. Some of which is managed because of how predatory Magic is as a product and always has been. Some of it was the issues Magic has always had combined with the added stress that's existed in the year 2020. Just like, I just needed a break. Just couldn't do it anymore. God bless America. Those were not the ones we wanted to hit. Real poop.
There's plenty of killing left.
Maybe this Doom Beast can save us. Maybe. They have a get excited next turn. We're gonna die though. They get to open attacks down to 3, and they can respond to this trigger.
Love ya.
I think Runeterra has too many uninteractive win cons without having a sideboard. I've talked about this before too, but the amount that people complain about formats in Runeterra really gives me a lot of sympathy towards game devs. Because, like, Runeterra's worst formats are still better than the best formats I've played in a lot of other card games, in my opinion. Like, it's really, like, being a game developer has to just be brutal in general, because, like, you have to cut through the noise suggestions versus what are reasonable suggestions. I think a lot of the complaints, not all of them, some of them are reasonable, but I think a lot of the complaints about Runeterra formats come down to the fact that some people think they should just never lose a game. And like, that's just not how 1v1 competitive games work. Day 9's video on feedback comes to mind. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good highlight. Mulligan the Horror, keep the rest of these. They're a control deck, but notably... Oh, you know what? They're probably not a control deck, actually. I think this is an Overwhelm aggro deck.
I never miss. In range.
Yeah, I think Tom Kench Soraka and Lee Sin are probably the 2 examples, if you ask me to give them, of things that feel bad to play against in Runeterra, even when you're beating them a lot of the time. How was Deep Freeze earlier? It was fine. Nothing particularly impressive, but nothing particularly bad either. It felt like it had a lot of the same type of matchups that regular Deep has. So it was, to set a low bar, it was much better than the PNZ Deep deck we had tried. I think we had a few good games with it. It'll probably make the highlight cuts for the highlights channel. Yeah, I think if you like the idea of what the Deep Freeze deck was doing, it's fine and playable. You will be able to win plenty of games with it.
Warm hearts and hot soups.
Yeah, but like saying that Tom Kench Soraka is the norm of how Runeterra decks work is either willfully ignorant or just plain lying, like bold-faced lying.
She's gonna be so happy.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the face.
Love ya.
Do you not understand, Mr. Gudala, that you can buy exactly the cards you want directly instead of buying packs? Are you aware that you can spend money to get cards in Runeterra? Your statement is worded in a way that would imply that you think you can't pay money for cards in Runeterra, which you definitely can.
Got the stink of blood and sweat.
AJ Sink, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. My general suggestions when people ask me about getting into Runeterra is spend a small bit of money to buy your first deck and then free to play the rest of them.
You poor thing. No!
Gruntad, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. That's actually really sweet. So I can go Jagged Butcher to trigger Nightfall on this. Then we can Nightfall the Ancient Yeti here. Hey, nice Kyle. Get it done. Davey Gravy. That's a fun username. Welcome to the channel. Alright, so I think I'm hooking this here just to get it out of the way, and then if they want to eat Misfortune with this, they then don't get to eat Nocturne, which is good for us.
Got us covered.
Day's been fun, Caperly.
Let's talk about your dad. Ready the torches.
And this is why the details matter, Jenrico. In my opinion, I think the appropriate criticism to leverage regarding Kench Soraka and the landmarks is that in the future, if Runeterra is going to introduce a new card type, they should not split up the interaction for that card type over 2 card releases. I think the fundamental problem with landmarks is not actually a design problem so much as it's a release cycle problem.
I'm waiting.
I think Nocturne's just like a good quality card on its own. Just like 5/3 Fiercer that makes something vulnerable is great. So if I was to give a critique of landmarks, I would say next time don't split up the interaction across 2 40-card drops. Put it all in the first one. Feel like we're in a pretty good spot here. We've got a fat boy here with this.
Show no mercy. Words to die by.
So I'm gonna dig for Doom Beast, I think. Is that the play? I think I'm digging for Doom Beast. And then we get to play the ephemeral one out here as a blocker. Yes, I agree, Quaddle. Splitting up the release of the actual landmark cards themselves is more than fine. It's splitting up the interaction specifically that I have a problem with.
For conquest.
Captain's orders.
We technically have lethal here, right? 1, 2, 4. Well, all regions are going to have landmark interaction when this next card drop happens. So again, it's not a design problem so much as it was how they split up the designs that they have. Opinion on how the esports is set up. My initial impression of Runeterra esports stuff so far is I would be surprised if they're fully done fleshing out what they want to do with Runeterra esports. I would assume this first draft of seasonal stuff is a first draft, and I would bet that as they get like their tournament mode done, we'll see them flesh it out more. Like, for example, I would be incredibly surprised if when their tournament mode is done, if they're not using their in-client tournament mode consistently. I think Runeterra has the opportunity to position itself to develop a very organic esports scene where they just hold monthly or even weekly large in-client tournaments that anybody can join and play. And honestly, they don't even have to have those tournaments pay out cash all of the time. Like, imagine there were 3 weekends of tournaments per month where you played for in-game gold and cosmetics and stuff, and those qualified you for a different monthly tournament that did pay out more tangible prizes. Once they have an in-client tournament mode, there is a ton they can do in terms of developing an esports scene. Orlando, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, exactly. These other card games haven't done that because they don't have a tournament mode, and Runeterra could easily do that in a very elegant way that makes it very accessible. Esports and competing in most other card games is super inaccessible. And honestly, that's one of the things that, to talk about Magic that I've played a lot, Magic was very, very good about having an accessible competitive scene where you could show up to a PTQ or a Grand Prix a bunch of different places, a bunch of different times per year, and just play and then qualify to compete. Whereas, like, what they have now and what Hearthstone has, what all these other games have, they're these very convoluted systems where you, like, you have to qualify for the qualifier for the qualifier, is basically how they feel to me. And there's just a lot of hoops to jump through that make it very unsatisfying. Yeah, these butchers have been bad. I think I'm gonna cut. If we play another game after this one, I'm gonna cut them. Cursed Keeper with Fortune Croaker, Jack, and Glimpse has been plenty. Alright, well, we redrew it, so I guess we'll play it. Yeah, all of these other games have their competitive focus 100% based around grinding ladder systems, and while ladder systems are fine, they're worse for many players than just having big tournaments you can show up and play in. And, like, being able to know, oh, I like this card game, I've practiced, I'm good at it, I can show up and spike a tournament on a weekend to, like, get involved as opposed to grinding a ladder endlessly. Having those flexible paths is important and valuable.
I Go on then.
Like I said, I know I'm casting for Riot this weekend, but I'm just an independent contractor with them. I don't have insider information. So this is speculation when I say I would be surprised if they're going to develop a tournament mode and then not leverage it consistently. Feels like it would be a waste of developer time to put a tournament mode in your client and then only use it every 2 months. I am casting the NA seasonal finals this weekend on the Riot Games Twitch channel. They posted that on, posted the lineup for that on Twitter yesterday, finally.
For silver I dug, for gold I laced it.
You know, I think I'm gonna... Nah, crokering this down to 1 is bad because then it'll die to a dream.
Oh, I hear them!
Yeah, I review the spoilers every single day when they get posted live in the mornings. And then the full spoiler review gets posted to my YouTube channel here in a playlist. So if you want to see my thoughts on past days, it's up there now. If you want to see my thoughts from today, I'll get them posted up there after I'm done streaming today.
Deal me in.
Who is Kibler? Brian Kibler is a Magic the Gathering Hall of Famer who's also one of the largest Hearthstone content producers that exist. He's also played a bit of Runeterra. He was in the Runeterra Twitch Rivals event. Kibler's also done game design. Kibler is a professional gamer who has very good card game chops and will be an excellent host. Thanks, Professor Fury. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to spend a bunch of time making a bunch of stuff for a great game like this, and then also feel like the company that makes the game appreciates me and respects me as a creator. The bold strategy, Cotton. It's not gonna pay off for him, chat. It's not gonna pay off for him. Maybe they weren't expecting unspeakable horror out of us. This is actually a pretty decent generation here. We're gonna have 6 mana next turn, so we'll get to go Jack into Stygian, and then get a decent attack here. Huh? That's a Nocturne. Nocturne means change of plans. We're gonna kill Twisted Faith. Zap is going to draw me more cards that draw me cards, yo dog, so I think we take that one. Our health total is pretty high at the moment. What's this deck? We are currently playing a viewer-submitted idea. They asked me to try and build a Nocturne deck that did not involve the Targon region. So that's what we're doing here today. People that are new to the channel, we usually play 2 to 3 different constructed decks every single day. A lot of them viewer-submitted deck lists or ideas. If you have your own sweet idea you'd like to see on stream at some point in the future, you can find details on how to submit that on my website here. Sure. Yeah, that seems kind of for us, right?
Bounty board knows me name.
With luck, your bounty covers half a meal.
We also, speaking of the spoilers from today, we got a sweet Shadow Isles Nightfall card that seems potentially good in a Nocturne deck like this. That's explicitly not using Targon. I think I'm actually going to sleep with the fishes on this 4-1, so that way they don't have a good thing to kill with their Drain 1.
I can bleed. Lock the doors.
Lock the doors. Yeah, I agree, Quaddle. This card pairs very well with the draw unit card.
With luck, your bounty covers half a meal.
Stalking Shadows, that's the one. What are my top 3 champions in Runeterra? Okay, so I have to quantify what you just asked with detail. So when you say top 3, do you mean champions I think that are most powerful, or champions that I enjoy playing with the most? Yeah, new card expansion drops on the 16th next week. Yeah, they're at 6. I'm probably supposed to sleep with the fishes there. The problem with sleeping there is that if I sleep, they could attack me. I don't really know that I want them to attack me.
Didn't know Fox had sent for you.
Don't know much, do ya?
This is actually a great pull as well, because it means that if they... Oh, they could... I'm about to get whaled, aren't I? Nope, just conceding. God bless. Alright, we're a little bit after 1 o'clock, and my wife said she made some lunch for me, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap on this one. So, to wrap on this, the core idea of what's going on here felt pretty reasonable. It worked out in practice almost exactly like I expected it to in theory. One thing to note, in the entirety of that set, we did not level Nocturne, and that's fine. This deck is not built in a way that I'm expecting to level Nocturne consistently in it. Ravenous Butcher, the one thing that felt awkward was that Ravenous Butcher wasn't very good. I included this because I was worried about having enough ways to consistently pop Cursed Keeper, but Fortune Croaker, along with Glimpse, along with occasionally Unspeakable Horroring our own thing, or Jack the Winner popping it, felt like that was plenty. So I think I would cut these. Honest to goodness, the new card from the spoiler that got released, the new Nightfall that makes copies of itself, that could be a card that we could play that would level Nocturne on occasion just because it's a big attack with a bunch of Nightfall things. And I think that would probably be worth trying. I'd fit at least 2 of them in here, maybe honestly make room for all 3. But the core idea of just like being a reasonable aggressive deck that had some board control elements with Nocturne and Hired Gun both letting us make things vulnerable, as well as having good card advantage, pairing Stalking Shadows and Glimpse with things like Zap Spray Fin. This felt like a reasonable deck that could apply pressure while also not strictly running out of cards in the mid to late game. Thanks everybody for hanging out today, by the way. We had a bunch of new followers. Welcome to the channel. Like I said, if you're new, I stream full-time here on Twitch. About half the hours that I stream are Runeterra. You can find my, oh, that's the wrong scene. Sorry for the brief music. You can find my schedule up on my website, but I stream Runeterra Monday through Friday during the week in the mornings. I also do variety stuff in the evenings. We're going to be continuing. We started Infamous Second Son last night. We're going to be playing through that some more on my PS5 tonight. We're playing some Witcher 3 as well. And then this weekend, we're going to be casting the Runeterra tournament on the Riot Games channel on Sunday, so that should be fun. I also have a YouTube channel where I post highlights every single day of some of the best decks I've played recently. Like I said, I play a bunch of different decks, so if you want some of the best ideas that come out of the channel without kind of sorting through the garbage yourself, that's a great place to find it. Also, during spoiler season, every day I'll have a short, like, 10-minute video covering the spoilers and my thoughts on them and things that we can do with them. I'll be back tonight with some Second Son. I'll be back tomorrow morning with some more Runeterra. Everybody, stay safe out there, wear a mask, wash your hands, be considerate of others. Peace.